So I wouldn't delve much into it, but basically there was an argument that I was arriving at in terms of the popular culture that was being represented with this sort of death mask cult. And then the sources that I was looking at was again secondary sources here. So when I was coming to the data part of my research writing process, I was looking at secondary sources that are talking about this, you know, popular culture and how the mob is being represented. And obviously, I couldn't conduct a primary research because I am an undergraduate student at that point in time. And there are limitations that you even face as a PhD student or even as an MPhil student. So, very important that you identify and you read a lot, you sort of get to deal with a lot of sources. And finally, the argument that I arrived at was, contextualizing the death mask within the French Revolution era, and also see how, this mob characterization, the problem that I raised, that why is the mob characterized as this violent group of barbaric people? And one thing that I realized is that this characterization was being perpetuated by someone who was in power. And when this balance of power shifted with these mobs, sort of challenging the authority and creating death masks of those who ruled over them. So it is this shifting change in balance of power that sort of, permeated this kind of characterization of the mob. And for social science students who are attending here, remember that power will feature in each and every one of your research theme topics. So this is something that, the keyword that you can always, look forward to. And since we're talking about death masks, I thought I should also show you pictures of it. And, this sort of traumatized me the beginning of my research, but later during the research writing process, I was actually quite excited by it because that just sort of solidified my interest in this theme. So the picture on the left, that's Robespierre, the famous Jacobean leader who led the terror of revolution and was later guillotined. And the picture on the right is that of Marie Antoinette, the famous queen who said that, give them cakes, if not bread. So yeah. So now, again, this is a process that I went through. I just gave an example from my personal experience of writing this particular paper on death masks. So again, begin with something that interests you. It could be a fictional book, it could be a TV series. So, for example, when you're talking about TV series, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, but there's this famous TV show on Nagins that used to come on Colors, and at that point in time, I was a big fan of Big Boss. So they used to have all these Nagin advertisements coming in and rolling in, and my friend and I used to really laugh at the kind of characterization that was being depicted for the female character on that show, and that's how we actually got interested on researching on this depiction of the Nagin. So for one of the popular cultures paper that we were studying in college, we actually took up this characterization of Nagin, and we sort of compared that how the Nagin in the Indian mythology is sort of revered, and she's someone whom we should be afraid of, or she'll come and take revenge. And in the modern day popular day context, she is given these sort of sexual undertones. She's someone who's seductive and she's there, but she's also again taking that revenge. So again, your interest can come from anywhere, but again, think very closely, look very closely. You never know when that sort of genius bug strikes. So, but yeah, identify your interest areas, and that is what will take you to your research idea or your starting point. Coming to your sources, how you begin your research. So there are three kinds of sources that you might find. One is your primary source. This could be any first-hand account, so a government report, a report of an experiment that was conducted by scientists. It could be a survey, a census. For history students, it could be chronicles, reports, diaries, letters, anything that is first-hand. Then your secondary source, which is basically any sort of account or any sort of work that is done by a researcher that has used the primary source. The primary source is your first hand account, and a secondary source is sort of your second hand account of the first hand account. And finally, there are your tertiary sources, which are sort of commenting on your secondary sources. So these could be newspaper articles, reviews that are sort of commenting on the kind of work that has been done on your secondary source.